The Imaginary Invalid, Le Malade Imaginaire by Molière. Translated by Charles Heron Wall. This is the last comedy written by Molière, who was very ill, nearly dying at the time he wrote it. And Molière acted the part of Argan. It was first acted at the Palais Royal Théâtre on February 10th, 1673.
Three and 2 makes 5, and 5 makes 10, and 10 makes 20. Item on the 21, small incident single, preparative and gentle to soften, moisten, and refreshen the bowels of Mr. Argan. What I like about Mr. Florent is my apothecary, and it is that of his build, always more civil. The bowels of Mr. Argan, all the same, Mr. Florent, it is not enough to be civil. You must also be reasonable, and not to plunder sick people. 30 sous for a singular, and I've already told you, with all due respect, that elsewhere you have not only charged me 22, and 20 sous in the language of apothecary means only 10 sous. So here they are. These sous item said on the day they said a good detergent cylinder, sir. Compound of a double catacon, rhubarb, honey of roses, and other ingredients, according to the prescription to succor, work, and clear out the bowels of Mr. Argan. 30 sous, which will leave you with 10 sous, an item on said day. In the evening, a julep, a herapax of superfluous and somniferous, and intended to promote the sleep of Mr. Argan. 35 sous? I do not complain, for it would make me sleep very well. And 10 and 15 and 16 and sous and 60 naires, and item on the 25th, a good purgative and collaborative mixture composed by a fresh canissa of the Levitin and other ingredients, according to the prescription from Mr. Purgon, to expel Mr. Argan. Fouls 4 francs. Are you joking? Mr. Florent, you must learn to be reasonable with patients. Mr. Purgon never ordered to put you on 4 francs, so put 3 francs, if you please. 20 to 30 sous. Item on said day, a dose, aryonine, and astringent to make Mr. Argan sleep. 30 sous. 10 sous, Mr. Florent. And an item on the 26th of a Beiermeister Kleister to cure the flatulence of Mr. Argan. 30 sous. The items Kleister repeating in the evening as above. For 30 sous. 10 sous, Mr. Florent. On the item 27th, a good mixture of composed for the purposes of drying out mad humors, Mr. Argan. 3 francs, and good 20 and 30 sous, and I'm glad that you are reasonable. Item on the 28th, dose of clarified and unadulterated whey to soften the bowels, the lengthy and temper, and refresh the blood of Mr. Argan. 20 sous. Good. 10 sous. Item, a poison cordial and preservative composed 12 grains of Belazor, syrup of citrons and pomegranates, and other ingredients, and according to the prescription, 5 francs. Mr. Florent, gently, if you please. If you like that, go on. No one will wish you to be unwell. Be satisfied with 4 francs, 20 sous, and 4 francs, 40 sous. And 3 and 2 are 5, and 5 are 10, and 10 are 20, and 63 francs are 40, and sous deniers. So that turns into the month. I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mixtures, and only And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 prices. And last month, there were 12 mixtures with 10 celestials, and I'm not astonished, and therefore I am not well this month at last. I shall speak to Mr. Purgon about it, and so that we may settle the matter. Right? Come, let us all be taken away. Nobody is used. It's no use. I'm always left alone. And there is no way of keeping them here. They don't hear my bell. My bell doesn't make enough noise. No one. It's just as if I didn't ring at all. You hussy! You jade! Confound it all! Deuce, you take it, you wretch!
Coming!
Ah, you jade, you wretch!
Oh, bother your impatience. You hurry me so much that I have knocked my head against the window shutter.
You vex him!
Oh.
There is...
Oh?
For every day,
Oh?
besides! You're big and you let me scold you.
Well, that's too bad after what I have done to myself.
You make me bow! See my face, you jade!
And you made me break my head open. One is just as bad as the other, so with your leave, we are quits.
What? You hussy!
If you go on scolding me, I shall cry.
Leave me, you.
Oh.
To leave me?
Oh.
You would! What? Shall I have to also give up the pleasure of scolding her?
Well, scold as much as you please. Do as you like.
You prevent me, you hussy, by interrupting me at every morning!
If you have the pleasure of scolding, I surely can have that of crying. Let everyone have his fancy. 'Tis but right.
I must give up, I suppose. I must give it up, I suppose. Take it away. Take this away, you jade. Be careful to have some broth ready for the others that I am to take soon.
This Monsieur Florent and Monsieur Purgon amuse themselves finely with your body. They have a rare milch cow in you, I must say. And then I should like them to tell me what disease it is you have, for them to physic you so.
Hold your tongue, simpleton. It is not fair for you to control the decries of faculty. I asked my daughter Angélique to come to me. I have something to tell her.
Here she is, coming of her own accord. She must have guessed your thoughts.
You come just in time. I want to speak to you.
Well, I am quite ready to hear you.
Wait a moment. Give me my walking stick. I'll come back directly.
Go, sir. Go quickly. Monsieur Florent gives us plenty to do.
Toinette,
Well, what?
look at me a little.
Well, I am looking at you.
Toinette!
Well, what, Toinette? Oh.
Don't you guess what I want to speak about?
Oh. Yes. I have some slight idea that you want to speak of your young lover, for it is of him we have been speaking for the last 6 days, and you are not well unless you mention him at every turn.
Well, since you know it is what I want, why are you not the first to speak to me of him? And why do you not spare me the trouble of being the one to start the conversation?
You don't give me time, and you are so eager that it is difficult to be beforehand with you on the subject.
I acknowledge that I am never weary of speaking of him, and that my heart takes eager advantage of every moment I have to open my heart to you. But tell me, Toinette, do you blame the feelings I have towards him?
I am far from doing so.
Am I wrong in giving way to these sweet impressions?
I don't say that you are. Mm-mm.
And would you have me insensible to the tender protestations of ardent love which he shows me?
Heaven forbid.
Tell me, do you not see, as I do, something providential, some act of destiny in the unexpected adventure from which our acquaintances originated?
Yes, oui.
That it is impossible to act more generously.
Agreed.
And that he did all this with the greatest possible grace.
Oh yes, oui.
Do you not think, Toinette, that he is very handsome?
Oh, certainly, certainement.
That he has the best manners in the world?
No doubt about it, sans doute.
That there is always something noble in what he says and what he does?
Most certainly, absolument.
That there was never anything more tender than all he says to me?
True? Vrai?
And that there can be nothing more painful than the restraint under which I am kept, for it prevents all sweet intercourse, and puts an end to that mutual love with which heaven has inspired us.
Ah, you are right.
But, dear Toinette, tell me, do you think that he loves me as much as he says he does?
That is a thing hardly to be trusted at any time. A show of love is sadly like the real thing, and I have met with very good actors in that line.
Ah, Toinette, what are you saying here? Alas, judging by the manner in which he speaks, is it possible he is not telling the truth?
At any rate, you will soon be satisfied on this point, and the resolution which he says he has taken of asking you in marriage is a sure and ready way of showing you if what he says is true or not. That is the all-sufficient proof.
Ah, Toinette, if he deceives me, I shall never in my life believe in any man.
Oh, here is your father coming back.
Say, Angélique, I have a piece of news for you, yon which perhaps you didn't expect. You've been asked of me in marriage. Aloha, how is that? You are smiling. It is a pleasant nature, it is not, that word marriage. There is nothing so funny as to young girls. Ah, nature. So, from what I see, daughter, there is no need of my asking you if you are willing to marry.
I ought to obey you in everything, father.
I'm very glad that you possess such an obedient daughter. The thing is settled then, and I promised you.
It is my duty, father, blindly to follow all you determine upon for me.
My wife, your mother-in-law, wanted me to none of you, and your little sister Louison also, that she has always been upon that.
The excellent creature has her reasons.
She would also not consent to this marriage, but I carried the day, and I've given my word is given.
Really? Oh, I am pleased with you for that, and it is the wisest thing you've ever did in your life.
I have not seen the person in question, but I am told that I should be satisfied with them, and that you too will be satisfied.
Oh, most certainly, father.
How? Have you seen him then?
Since your consent to our marriage authorizes me to open my heart to you, I will not hide from you that chance has made us acquainted 6 days ago, and that the request has been made to you is the result of the sympathy we felt for one another at first sight.
They did not tell me that, but I am glad of it. It is much better that things should be so. They say that he is tall and a well-made young fellow.
Oh, yes, father.
Of fine build.
Yes, indeed.
Pleasant.
Certainly.
A good face.
Very good.
Steady and of good family.
Quite.
With very good manners.
The best possible.
And speaks both Greek and Latin.
Ah, that I didn't know anything about.
And that he will, in 3 days, be made a doctor.
He, father?
Yes, he did not. Did he not tell you?
No, indeed. Who told you?
Mr. Bergeron.
Does Mr. Purgon know him?
What a question. Of course he knows him, since he is his nephew.
Salon is the nephew of Mr. Purgon?
Well, what, Cléante? What are we speaking about? About him who has asked you in marriage?
Yes, of course.
Well, he is nephew of Mr. Purgon and the son brother of Diafoirus, and the son of this is called Thomas Diafoirus, not Cléante. Mr. Florent and I decided upon the match this morning, and tomorrow, and the future son-in-law will be brought to me by his father. And what is the matter? You look scared.
It is because, father, I see that you have been speaking of one person, and I have another.
What? Sir, you have formed such a queer project as that, and with all the wealth you possess, you want to marry your daughter to a doctor?
What business is of yours, imprudent jade?
Gently. Gently. You always begin by abuse. Can we not reason together without getting into a rage? Come, let us speak quietly. What reason have you, if you please, for such a marriage?
My reason is that, seeing as I'm sick and infirm and sick, I wish to have a son-in-law and relatives who are doctors in order to secure this kind of assistance in my illness, to have in my family the fountainhead of those remedies which are necessary to me, and to be withheld into reach of my constituents and prescriptions.
Very well. At least that is giving a reason. And there is a certain pleasure in answering one another calmly. But now, sir, on your conscience, do you really and truly believe that you are ill?
Believe that I am ill? You jade, I believe that I am ill, you impudent hussy.
Very well then, sir, you are ill. You are ill. Don't let us quarrel about that. Yes, you are very ill. I agree with you upon that point. More ill even than you think. Now, is that settled? But your daughter is to marry a husband for herself, and as she is not ill, what is the use of giving her a doctor?
This is for my sake. I give her this doctor, and a good daughter ought to be delighted to marry for her sake, for her father's health.
In good troth, sir. Shall I, as a friend, give you a piece of advice?
What is the advice?
Not to think of this much.
And your reason?
The reason is that your daughter will never consent to it.
My daughter will never consent to it.
No.
My daughter?
Your daughter. She will tell you that she has no need of Monsieur Diafoirus, nor of his son, Monsieur Thomas Diafoirus, nor all the Diafoiruses in the world.
But I am in need of them, and besides, I am much more advantageous than you think, Mr. Diafoirus. And not only this son is her heirs, and moreover, Mr. Bergeron, who has never had a wife nor child, gives all he has in favor of this marriage, and Mr. Purgon is a man worth of 8,000 francs a year.
What a lot of people he must have killed to have become so rich.
8,000 francs is something, without consenting to the property of the father.
That is very well, sir. But all the same, I advise you, between ourselves, to choose another husband for her. She is not of a make to become a Madame Diafoirus.
But I will have it so.
Fie! Nonsense! Don't speak like that.
Don't speak like that. Why not?
Dear me, no, don't.
And why shouldn't I speak like that?
People will say that you don't know what you're talking about.
People will say all they like, but I tell you that what I have her. I've made my promise good.
I feel sure that she won't.
Then I will force her to do
She will
it.
not do it, I tell you.
She will, or she'll shut up in the convent.
You!
Ah!
Good.
Oh, good.
You will not shut her up in a convent.
I shall shut her up in a convent.
No.
No?
No.
Well, this is cool. I shall not put my daughter in a convent if I like.
No, I tell you.
And who will hinder me?
You, yourself.
Myself.
You will never have the heart to do it.
I shall.
You are joking.
I am not joking.
Fatherly love will hinder you.
It will not hinder me.
Oh, a little tear or two, arms thrown around your neck. Oh, my darling little papa, said very tenderly, will be enough to touch your heart.
Oh, that will be useless.
Oh, yes.
I tell you that nothing will move me.
Rubbish.
You have no business to say rubbish.
I know you well enough. You are naturally kind-hearted.
I am not kind-hearted. I am ill-natured when I like.
Gently, sir, you forget that you are ill.
I command her to prepare herself to take the husband I have fixed upon.
And I decidedly forbid her to do anything of the kind.
What have we come to? And what is for this is to scrub a servant to speak in such a way before her master.
When a master does not consider what he is doing, a sensible servant should set him right.
Ah, you impudent girl, I will kill you.
It is my duty to oppose what would be a dishonor to you.
Come here, and let me teach you how to speak.
I interest myself in your affairs as I ought to do it, and I don't wish to see you commit any folly.
Great.
No. I will never consent to this marriage.
Worthless hussy.
I won't have her marry your Thomas Diafoirus.
Vixen.
She will obey me sooner than you.
Angélique, won't you stop that jade for me?
Ah, father, don't make yourself ill.
If you don't stop her, I will refuse my blessing.
And I will disinherit her if she obeys you. Au revoir.
Ah, I am done for. Enough to kill me. Come near, my wife.
What ails you, my poor, dear husband?
Come to help. Come to my help.
What is the matter, my little darling child?
My love.
My love.
They have just put me in a rage.
Oh, alas, my poor little husband. How was that, my own dear pet?
That jade of yours, Toinette, has grown more insolent than ever.
Don't excite yourself.
She has put me in a rage, my dove.
Gently, my child.
She has been thwarting me for the last hour about everything I want to do.
There, never mind.
And has the impudence to say that I am not ill.
She's an impertinent hussy.
You know my soul, and what is true.
Yes, my
what
darling.
truth this is.
She is wrong.
And my own dear Jade, that Jade will be the death of me.
No, don't.
She causes all my bile.
Oh, don't be so angry.
And I have asked you ever so many times to send her.
Alas, my child, there is no servant without defects. We are obliged to put up at times with their bad qualities on account of their good ones. The girl is skillful, careful, diligent, and above all, honest. And you know that in our days we must be very careful with what people take into our house. I say, Toinette!
Madame?
How is this? Why do you put my husband in a passion?
Madame? Alas, I don't know what you mean, and my only aim is to please master in everything.
Yes. That's a deceitful girl.
He said to us that he wished to marry his daughter to the son of Monsieur Diafoirus. I told him that I thought the match very advantageous for her, but then I believed he would do better to put her in a convent.
There is not much harm in that, and I think that she's right.
Ah, dearie, do you believe her? She's a vile girl. She has said hundreds of insolent things to me.
Well, I believe you, my dear. Come, compose yourself. And you, Toinette, listen to me. If ever you make my husband angry again, I will send you away. Come, give me his fur cloak and some pillows that I may make him comfortable in his armchair. You are all anyhow. Pull your nightcap right down over your ears. There's nothing that gives people such bad colds and letting in the air through the ears.
Ah, dearie, how much I'm obliged to you in all that you take care of me.
Oh, raise yourself a little more for me to put this under you. Let us put this one for you to lean upon, and this one on the other side, this one behind your back, and this other to support your head.
And this other to keep you from the evening damp.
Ah, wretch, you wouldn't. You want a nut to smother me.
Now, what is it again?
I can hold it out no longer.
But why do you fly into such a passion? She thought she was doing right.
You know, I don't know, darling, the wickedness of the villainous baggage, and she has it all together to upset me, and I shall want more than 8 different mixtures and 12 different injections to remedy this evil.
Come, my dearie, compose yourself a little.
Lovely, you are my only consultation.
Poor little
Consolate.
pet.
To repay you for all your love, you have me, my darling, and I will, as I told you, make my will.
My soul, do not let us speak of that. I beseech you, I cannot bear to think of it, and the very word will makes me die of grief.
I had to ask you to speak to a notary about it.
There he is, close at hand. I have brought him with me.
Make him come in then, my life.
Alas, my darling, when a woman loves her husband so much, she finds it almost impossible to think of these things.
Come here, Mr. de Belfont. Come here. Take a seat, if you please. My wife tells me, sir, that you are a very honest man and altogether one of her friends. Therefore, I have asked her to speak to you about a will in which I wish to make.
Alas, I cannot speak of those things.
Oh, she has fully explained to me your intentions, sir, and what you mean to do for her. But I have to tell you that you can give nothing to your wife by will.
But why so?
It is against custom. If you were in a district where statute law prevailed, the thing could be done. But, bless you, but in Paris, and in almost all places governed by custom, it cannot be done, and the will would be held void. The only settlement that man and wife can make on each other is by mutual donation while they are alive, and even then there must be no children from either that marriage or from any previous marriage at the decease of the first who dies. Sir?
But it's very important custom
Well,
that a husband can leave nothing to a wife whom he loves, but by whom he is tenderly loved and who takes as much care of him, and I should like to consult my own advocate and to see what I can do.
oh, but it is not an advocate that you must apply. for they are very particular on this point, and I think it a great crime to bestow one's property contrary to the law. They are people to make difficulties, and are ignorant of the bylaws of conscience. There are others whom you may consult with advantage on that point, and who have expedients for gently overriding the law, and for rendering just that which is not allowed. These know how to smooth over the difficulties of an affair, and find the means of eluding custom by some indirect advantage. Without that, what would become of us every day? We must make things easy. Otherwise, we should do nothing, and I wouldn't give a penny for our business.
My wife has rightly told me, sir, that if you were a very clever and honest man, what can I do? Pray to give her my fortune, deprive my children of it.
What can you do? Well, you can discreetly choose a friend of your wife, to whom you will give all your own in due form by your will, and that friend will give it up to her afterwards. Or else you can sign a great many safe bonds in favor of various creditors, who will lend their names to your wife, and in whose hands they will leave a declaration that what was done was only to serve her. You can also, in your lifetime, put in her hands ready money, and bills which you can make payable to bearer.
Alas, you must not trouble yourself about all that. If I lose you, my child, I will stay no longer in the world.
My darling.
Yes, my pet, if I were unfortunate enough to lose you,
My dear wifey.
life would be nothing to me.
My love.
And I would follow you to the grave to show you all the tenderness I feel for you.
You will break my heart, Jerry. Comfort yourself, I beseech you.
These tears are unseasonable. Things have not come to that yet.
Ah, sir, you do not know what it is to have a husband one loves tenderly.
Oh, the regret I shall have if I die, my darling. I have no child from you, and Mr. Bergeron told me that he would have me have what?
That may come still.
I must make my wood, dearie. And of course, what this gentleman advises, but out of precaution, I will give you 20,000 francs in gold, in which I have a waistcoating of the receipts of my room. 2 base bills payable to the bearer, which are 2 to me, 1 from Mr. Damon and 1 from Mr. Jerome.
No, I will have nothing to do with all that. How much do you say there is in the recess?
20,000 francs, darling.
Oh, don't speak of me your money, I beseech you. How much are the 2 bills for?
One is my love. It's for 24,000 francs, and the other's for 6,000.
All the wealth in the world, my son, is nothing to me compared to you.
Shall we draw up the will?
Yes, sir. But we shall be more comfortable in my own little study. Help me, my love.
Come, my poor dear child.
They are shut up with the notary, and I heard something about a will. Your mother-in-law doesn't go to sleep. It is no doubt some conspiracy of hers against your interest, to which she is urging your father.
Let him dispose of his money as he likes, as long as he does not dispose of my heart in the same way. You see, Toinette, to what violence it is subjected. Do not forsake me, I beseech you, in this my extremity.
I forsake you! I'd rather die. In vain does your stepmother try to take me into her confidence and make me espouse her interests. Oh, I never could like her. And I've always been on your side. Trust me, I will do everything to serve you. But in order to serve you more effectually, I shall change my tactics, hide my wish to help you, and affect to enter into the feelings of your father and your stepmother.
Oh, do try, I beseech you, to let Cléante know about the marriage they have decided upon.
I have nobody to employ for that duty but the old usurer, Punchinello, my lover. Oh, it will cost me a few honeyed words, which I am most willing to spend for you. Today, it is too late for that. But tomorrow morning, early, I will send for him. And he will be delighted.
Toinette!
I am called away. Bonne soirée. Good night. Trust me. What is it you want, sir?
What do I want?
Oh, it is you! Quelle surprise! What are you coming here for?
To learn my destiny? To speak to the lovely Angélique? To consult the feelings of her heart? To ask her what she means to do about this fatal marriage and what I have been told?
Very well. But no one speaks so easily as all that to Angélique. You must take precaution, and you have been told how narrowly she is watched. She never goes out, nor does she see anybody. It was through the curiosity of an old aunt that we obtained leave to go to the play where your love began, and we have taken good care not to say anything about it.
Therefore I am not here as Cléante, nor as her lover, but as the friend of her music master for whom I have obtained leave to stay, but I have come in this stead.
Oh, here is your father. Withdraw a little and let me tell him who you are. Okay.
Mr. Purgon told me that I was to walk 12 times to and fro in my room every morning. But I forgot to ask him whether it should be lengthways or cross.
Sir, monsieur, here is a gentleman who is here.
Speak in a lower tone, Eugène. My head is open, and you forgot that we should never speak so loud. I'm sick.
I wanted to tell you, sir, that we have someone.
No, I tell you.
Sir, I tell you that there is a gentleman.
What is it you say?
I say that there is a gentleman here who wants to speak to you.
Let him come in.
Sir,
Do not speak so loud! For fear of splitting open the head of Monsieur Argan.
Sir, I am delighted to find you up and to see you better.
Oh! Better! It is false! Master is always ill.
I had heard that your master was better, and I think that he looks well in the face.
What do you mean by he's looking well in the face? He looks very bad, and it is only impertinent folks who say that he is better. Oh, he never was so ill in his life.
She is right.
He walks, sleeps, eats, and drinks like other folks, but that does not hinder him from being very ill.
What? Right.
I am heartily sorry for it, sir. I am sent by your daughter's music master. He was obliged to go into the country for a few days, and as I am his intimate friend, He has actually come here in his place to go on with the lessons for fear that if they were discontinued, she should forget what she has already learned.
Very well. Call Angélique.
I think, sir, it would be better to take the gentleman to her room.
No. Make her come here.
He cannot give her a good lesson if they are not left alone.
We.
Oh, yes. Yes, he can.
Sir, it will stun you and you should have nothing to disturb you in this state of health you are in.
No, no. Music. I should be glad to. Ah, here she is. Go and see if my wife is dressed.
D'accord.
Oh, heavens. What's the matter? Why the surprise? It is. What can disturb you in this manner? In such a strange coincidence? How so? I dreamt last night that I was in the greatest trouble imaginable, and someone exactly like this gentleman came to me and asked me for help, and presently he has saved me from the great trouble I was in. To my surprise, Tell my daughter, your music master has gone to the country, and here is a person whom he sends instead to give you your lesson.
Oh, heavens!
Why? What's the matter? Why the surprise?
It is...
What can disturb you in this manner?
It is such a strange coincidence.
How so?
Well, I dreamt last night that I was in the greatest trouble imaginable, and that someone exactly like this gentleman came to me. I asked him to help me, and presently he saved me from the greatest trouble I was in. My surprise was very great to meet unexpectedly on my coming here, of course, him of whom I had been dreaming all night.
There's no small happiness to occupy your thoughts, whether sleeping or waking. And my delight would be great indeed if you were in any trouble out of which you would think me worthy of delivering you. There is nothing that I would not do for.
Argan, it is indeed. Sir, I am of your opinion now, and I say all that I said yesterday. Here are Monsieur Diafoirus the father and Monsieur Diafoirus the son are coming to visit you. How well provided with a son-in-law you will be. Oh, you will see the best made young fellow in the world, and the most intellectual. He said but 2 words to me, it is true, but I was struck with them, and your daughter will be delighted with him.
Do not go, sir. I am about to, as you see, marry my daughter, and they have just brought her future husband, whom she has not seen yet.
You do me great honor, sir, in wishing me to be witness of such a pleasant interview.
He is the son of a clever doctor, and the marriage will take place in 4 days.
Indeed.
Please inform her that her music master is of it, and that he may be at the wedding.
I will not fail to do so.
And I invite you also.
You do me too much honor.
Come, make room! Here they are.
Mr. Purgon has forbidden me to uncover my head, so you belong to the profession that I know, and know what would be the consequence if I did so.
We are bound in all our visits to bring relief to invalids and not to injure them.
I
We
receive,
come
sir.
here, sir, with my son Thomas and myself to declare to you, sir,
The honor,
the delight we
and I
are
wish,
in at the favor you
and I
do
could have gone
us
to your
in
house,
so kindly admitting us to the
but
honor,
you know, sir,
of your
but
alliance,
what Elisabeth, your
and
poor invalid,
assure
can
you
only
that in
tell
all
you
that
that
depends on our knowledge, as
he
well
will
as
seize
in
day of
any
every
other
opportunity
way, that
show
we
you,
shall
sir,
ever be ready, sir,
that he will
to
entirely
show
be at
you
your
our
service.
zeal. Thomas, come forward and pay your respects.
Ought I not to begin with the father?
Yes.
Sir, I come to salute, acknowledge, cherish, and revere in you a second father, but a second father to whom I owe more, I make bold to say, than to the first. The first gave me birth, but you have chosen me. He received me by necessity, but you have accepted me by choice. What I have from him is of the body, corporal. What I hold from you is of the will, voluntary. And in so much the more as the mental faculties are above the corporal, in so much the more do I hold precious this future affiliation, for which I come beforehand today to render you my most humble and respectful homage.
Long life to the colleges which send such clever people into the world.
Has this been said to your satisfaction, Father?
Optime.
Come, out to this gentleman.
Shall I kiss?
Yes, yes.
Madam, it is with justice that heaven has given you the name of stepmother, since we duty which is
It's not my wife, but my daughter that you are speaking.
Where is she?
She will come soon.
Shall I wait, Father, till she comes?
No. Go through your compliments to the young lady in the meantime.
Madam, as the statue of Memnon gave forth a harmonious sound when it was struck by the first rays of the sun, in like manner do I experience a sweet rapture at the apparition of this sun, of your beauty, as the naturalists remark that the flower styled heliotrope always turns toward the star of day, so will my heart forever turn towards the resplendent stars of your adorable eyes, as to its only pole. Suffer me, then, madam, to make today on the altar of your charms the offering of a heart which longs for and is ambitious of no greater glory than to be, till death, madam, your most humble, most obedient, most faithful servant and husband.
See what it is to study and one learns to say fine things.
Well, what do you say to that?
The gentleman does wonders. And if he is as good as a doctor as he is an orator, it will be most pleasant to be one of his patients.
Certainly, it will be something admirable if his cures are as wonderful as his speeches.
Now, quick, my chair, and see through everyone. Sit down here, my daughter, and you see, sir, that everybody admires your son, and I think you are very fortunate to be the father of such a young man.
Sir, It is not because I am his father, but I can boast that I have reason to be satisfied with him, and that all those who see him speak of him as of a youth without guile. He has not a very lively imagination, nor that sparkling wit which is found in some others, but it is this which has always made me augur well with his judgment, a quality required for the exercise of our art. As a child, he never was what is called sharp or lively. He was always gentle, peaceful, taciturn, never saying a word, and never playing at any of those little pastimes that we call children's games. It was found most difficult to teach him to read. He was 9 years old before he knew his letters. A good omen, I used to say to myself. Trees slow of growth bear the best fruit. We engrave on marble with much more difficulty than on sand, but the result is more lasting. And that dullness of apprehension, that heaviness of imagination, is a mark of a sound judgment in the future. When I sent him to college, he found it hard work, but he stuck to his duty and bore up with obstinacy against all difficulties. His tutors always praised him for his assiduity and the trouble he took. In short, by dint of continual hammering, he at last succeeded gloriously in obtaining his degree, and I can say without vanity that from that time till now there has been no candidate who has made more noise than he in all the disputations of our school. There he has rendered himself formidable, and no debate passes but he goes and argues loudly and to the last extreme and the opposite side. He is firm in dispute, strong as a Turk in his principles, never changes his opinion, and pursues an argument to the last recesses of logic. But, above all things, what pleases me in him, and what I am glad to see him follow my example in, is that he is blindly attached to the opinions of the ancients, and that he would never understand nor listen to the reasons and the experiences of the pretended discoveries of our century concerning the circulation of the blood and other opinions of the same stamp.
I have upheld against these circulators a thesis which, with the permission of this gentleman, I venture to present to the young lady as first fruits of my genius.
Sir, it is a useless piece of furniture to me. I do not understand these things.
Never mind, give it all the same. The picture will be of use, and we will adorn our attic with it.
Ooh.
With the permission of this gentleman, I invite you to come one of these days to amuse yourself by assisting at the dissection of a woman upon whose body I am to give lectures.
Oh, the treat will be most welcome. There are some who give the pleasure of seeing a play to their lady love, but a dissection is much more gallant.
Moreover, in respect to the qualities required for marriage, I assure you that he is all you could wish, and that his children will be strong and healthy.
Do you not intend, sir, to push his way at court and obtain for him the post of a physician there?
To tell you the truth, I have never had any predilection to practice with the great. It never seemed pleasant to me, and I have found that it is better for us to confine ourselves to the ordinary public. Ordinary people are more convenient. You are accountable to nobody for your actions, and as long as you follow the common rules laid down by the faculty, there is no necessity to trouble yourself about the result. What is vexatious among people of rank is that when they are ill, they positively expect the doctor to cure them.
How very absurd. How impertinent of them to ask of your doctors to cure them. Or you're not placed near them for that, but only to receive your fees and to prescribe remedies. It is their own lookout to get well if they can.
Quite so. We are only bound to treat people according to form.
Sir, please make my daughter sing before the company.
Ah, I was waiting for your command, sir, and I propose, in order to amuse the company, to sing with the young lady operetta which has lately come out. There is your part.
Mine?
Don't refuse. Pray. But let me explain to you what it is, the scene we must sing. I have no voice, but in the case it is sufficient if I may make myself understood, and you must have the goodness to excuse me, because I am under the necessity of making the young lady sing.
Are the verses pretty?
It is really nothing but a small extempore opera, and what you will hear is only rhythmical prose or a kind of irregular verse, such as a passion and necessity make two people utter.
Very well, let us hear it.
The subject of the scene is as follows. A shepherd was praying every attention to the beauties of a play when he was disturbed by a noise close to him, and on turning round he saw a scoundrel who, with insolent language, was annoying a young shepherdess. He immediately espoused the cause of sex to which all men owe homage, and after having chastised the brute for his insolence, he came near the shepherdess to comfort her. He sees a young girl with the most beautiful eyes he has ever beheld, who is shedding tears which he thinks the most precious in the world. Alas, says he to himself, can any one be capable of insulting such charms? Where is the unfeeling wretch, the barbarous man to be found who will not feel touched by such tears? He endeavors to stop those beautiful tears, and the lovely shepherdess takes the opportunity of thanking him for the slight service he has rendered her. But she does it in a manner so touching, so tender, so passionate that the shepherd cannot resist it. And each word, each look is a burning shaft which penetrates his heart. Is there anything in the world worthy of such thanks? And what will not one do? What service and what danger will not one be delighted to run to attract upon oneself, even for a moment, the touching sweetness of so grateful a heart? The whole play was acted without his paying any more attention to it. Yet he complains that it was too short, since the end separates him from his lovely shepherdess. From that moment, from that first sight, he carries away with him a love which has the strength of passion of many years. He now feels all the pangs of absence, and is tormented in no longer seeing what he beheld for so short a time. He tries every means to meet again with a sight so dear to him, and the remembrance of which pursues him day and night. But the great watch which is kept over his shepherdess deprives him of all the power of doing so. The violence of his passion urges him to ask in marriage the honorable beauty which without him can no longer live. and he obtains from her the permission of doing so by means of a note that he has succeeded in sending to her. But he is told in the meantime that the father of her, whom he loves, has decided upon marrying her to another, and that everything is being got ready to celebrate the wedding. Judge, what a cruel wound for the heart of that poor shepherd. Behold him, suffering from his mortal blow. He cannot bear the dreadful idea of seeing her he loves in the arms of another, and in his despair he finds the means of introducing himself into the house of the shepherdess, in order to learn her feelings and to hear from her the fate of he must expect. There he sees everything ready for what he fears. He sees the unworthy rival, whom he capriciate of a father opposes to the tenderness of his love. He sees that ridiculous rival triumphant near the lovely shepherdess, as if already assured of his conquest. Such a sight fills him with a wrath that he can hardly master. He looks despairingly at whom he really adores, but the respect he has for her and the presence of her father prevent him from speaking except with his eyes. At last, he breaks through all restraint, and the greatness of his love forces him to speak as follows. Phyllis, too sharp a pain you bid me bear. Break this stern silence. Tell me what to fear. Disclose your thoughts and bid them open wide to tell me if I live or die.
The marriage preparations sadden me, overwhelmed with sorrow. My eyes I lift to the heaven, I strive to pray. Then it gaze on you and sigh. No more, I say.
Sir says who fain would woo. Tell him, Phyllis, is it true? Is he so blessed by your sweet grace, as in your heart to find a place?
I may not hide it in this dire extreme. Dear sis, I owe for you my love.
Oh, blessed words, am I indeed so blessed? Repeat them, Phyllis, set my doubts at rest.
I love you, dear sis.
Ah, Phyllis, once again.
I love you, dear sis.
Alas, I fain 100 times would hearken to that strain.
I love you. I love you. Dear sis, I love you.
Ye kings and God who from your eternal seat behold the world of men beneath your feet. Can you possess a happiness more sweet? My Phyllis, one dark haunting fear. Oh, peaceful joy disturbs unsought. A rival may homage share.
Worse death is such a delight. Her thought, oops, Its presence equal torment is to both my Mars, my bliss.
Your father to this vow would subject you.
Ah, welcome death before I prove untrue.
And what does my father say to all of that?
Nothing.
Then that my father is a fool to put up with those silly things without saying a word.
My
No, 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 that will do. An opera is in very bad taste. Then Shepherd treats an impertinent fellow, and Shepherdess Phyllis, an imprudent girl, to speak in that way in the presence of her father. Show me that paper. Where are the words that you have just sung? This is only the music.
Are you not aware, sir, that the way of writing the words with the notes themselves has been lately discovered?
Has it? Goodbye for the present. We could only have done very well without your impertinent opera.
I thought I should amuse you.
Foolish! Foolish things do not amuse me, sir. Here's my wife. My love. Here's the son, Diafoirus.
Madam, it is with justice that heaven has given you the title of stepmother, since we see in you steps.
Sir, I am delighted to have come here just in time to see you.
Since we see in you, Madam, you have interrupted me in the middle of my period and have troubled my memory.
But keep it for another time.
I wish, my dear, that you have been here just now.
Ah, madame, how much you have lost by not being at the second father, the statue of Memnon and the flower-styled heliotrope.
Come, my daughter, shake hands with this gentleman and pledge him your troth.
Father.
Well, what do you mean by father?
I beseech you not to be in such a hurry. Give us time to become acquainted with each other, and to see grow in us that sympathy so necessary to a perfect union.
As far as I am concerned, madam, it is already fully grown within me, and there is no occasion for me to wait.
I am not so quick as you are. Sir, I must confess that your merit has not yet made enough of an impression on my heart.
Oh, nonsense. And there will be time enough for the impression to be made after you are married.
Ah, my father, give me time, I beseech you. Marriage is a chain which should never be imposed by force. And if this gentleman is a man of honor, he ought not to accept a person who would be his only by force.
Nego consequentium. I can be a man of honor, madam, and at the same time accept you from the hands of your father.
Joy. To do violence to anyone in such a strange way of setting about inspiring love.
We read in the ancients, madam, that it was their custom to carry off by main force from their father's house the maiden they wished to marry, so that the latter might not seem to fly of her own accord into the arms of a man.
The ancients, sir, are the ancients, but we are the moderns. Pretenses are not necessary in our age, and when a marriage pleases us, we know very well how to go to it without being dragged by force. Have a little patience, if you love me. Sir, you ought to do what I wish.
Certainly, madam, but without prejudice to the interest of my love.
But the greatest mark of love is to submit to the will of her who is loved.
Distinguo, madam, in what does not regard the possession of her, concedo, but in what regards it, nego.
Angélique, it is in vain for you to argue. This gentleman is brand new from college and will be more than a match for you. Why resist and refuse the glory of belonging to the faculty?
She may have some other inclination in her head.
If I had, madam.
If I had, madam, it would be such as reason and honor allow.
Heyday! I'm enacting pleasant thought here.
If I were you, my child, I would not force her to marry. I know very well what I should do.
I know what you mean, madam, and how kind you are to me, but it may be hoped that your advice may not be fortunate enough to be followed.
That is because well brought up and good children like you scorn to be obedient to the will of their fathers. Obedience was all very well in former times.
The duty of a daughter has its limits, madam, and neither reason nor law extend it to all things.
Which means that your thoughts are all in favor of marriage, but that you will choose a husband for yourself.
If my father will not give me a husband I like, at least I beseech him not to force me to marry one I can never love.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon for all this.
We all have our own end in marrying. For my part, as I only want a husband that I can love sincerely, and as I intend to consecrate my whole life to him, I feel bound, I confess, to be cautious. There are some who marry simply to free themselves from the yoke of their parents, and to be at liberty to do all they like. There are others, madam, who see in marriage only as a matter of mere interest, who marry only to get a settlement, and to enrich themselves by the death of those they marry. They pass without scruple from husband to husband with an eye to their possessions. These, no doubt, madam, are not so difficult to satisfy and care little what the husband is like.
You are very full of reasoning today. I wonder what you mean by this.
Madam, what can I mean by what I say?
You're such a simpleton, my dear, that one can hardly bear with you.
You would like to extract from me some rude answer, but I warn you that you will not have the pleasure of doing so.
Nothing can equal your impertinence.
It is of no use, madam. You will not.
And you have a ridiculous pride, an impertinent presumption, which makes you the scorn of everybody.
All this will be useless, madam. I shall be quite in spite of you, and to take away from you all hope of succeeding in what you wish. I shall withdraw from your presence.
Listen to me. Two of the things. One, either you will marry this gentleman or you will go into a convent. I will give you 4 days to consider. Don't be anxious. I will bring her to reason.
I am sorry to leave you, my child, but I have some important business which calls me to town. I shall soon be back.
Go, my darling. I call upon the notary and tell him to be quick about you-know-what.
Goodbye, my child.
Goodbye, dearie. How much this woman loves me. It is perfectly incredible.
We shall now take our leave of you, sir.
I beg of you, sir, to tell me how I am.
Now, Thomas, take the other arm of the gentleman so that I may see whether you can form a right judgment on his pulse. Quid dicis?
Dico, that the pulse of this gentleman is the pulse of a man who is not well.
Good.
That it is duriusculus, not to say durus.
Very well.
Irregular.
Bene.
And even a little caprizant,
Optime.
which speaks of an intemperance in the splenetic parenchyma, that is to say, the spleen.
Quite right.
It cannot be. For Mr. Bertrand says it was my liver which is out of order.
Certainly. He who says parenchyma says both one and the other, because of the great sympathy which exists between them through the means of the vas breve of the pylorus, and often of the meatus collidici. He no doubt orders you to eat plenty of roast meat.
No, nothing but boiled meat.
Yes. Roast or boiled, it is all the same. He orders very wisely, and you could not have fallen into better hands.
Sir, tell me how many grains of salt I ought to put on an egg.
6, 8, 10, even by even numbers, just as is medicines by odd numbers.
Goodbye, sir. I hope that to have the pleasure of seeing you again.
Before I go out, I must inform you of one thing you must be careful about. While passing before Angélique's door, I saw with her a young man who ran away as soon as he noticed me.
A young man with my daughter?
Yes, your little girl Louison, who is with them, will tell you all about it.
Send her here, my love, and send her here at once. The brazen-faced girl. I no longer wonder at the Renaissance she showed me.
What do you want, Papa? My stepmama told me to come to you.
Yes, come here. Come nearer. Turn around and hold up your head. Look it straight at me. Well?
What, Papa?
So?
What?
Have you nothing to say to me?
Yes, I will, to amuse you, tell you, if you like, the story of the ass's skin of the fable of the fox and the crow, which I have learned today.
That is not what you want. That's not what I want of you.
What is it then?
Ah, funny little girl. You know very well what I mean.
No, indeed, Papa.
Is that the way you obey me?
What, Papa?
I have not asked you to tell me at once all you see.
Yes, Papa.
Have you done so?
Yes, Papa. I always come and tell you what I see.
Then you have seen nothing today?
No, Papa.
No?
No, Papa.
Quite sure?
Quite sure.
Indeed. I will make you see something soon.
Ah, Papa.
False little girl. You do not tell me that you saw a man in your sister's room.
Papa.
I will teach you to tell falsehoods.
Oh, my dear Papa. Pray forgive me. My sister had asked me not to say anything to you, but I will tell you everything.
First you must have a flogging for hath been told an untruth, then we will see the rest.
Forgive me, Papa, forgive me.
No, no.
My dear Papa, don't whip me.
Yes, you shall be whipped.
For pity's sake, don't whip me, Papa.
Come, come.
Ah, Papa, you have hurt me. I am dead.
How now? How now? What does this mean, Louison? Ah, heaven, Louison. My child, my wretched father, my poor child is dead. What have I done? Ah, villainous rod, curse the rod. Alas, my poor children, my dear little Louison.
Come, dear Papa, don't weep. I am not quite dead yet.
Just see the cunning little wretch. Well, I forgive you this once, but you must tell me everything.
Oh, yes, dear Papa.
Be sure to take great care, for here my little finger knows everything, and it will tell me if you don't speak the truth.
But Papa, you won't
No.
tell Sister that I told you?
No.
Papa, a young man came into my sister's room while I was there.
Well?
I asked him what he wanted, and he said that he was her music master.
Let's see. Well?
Then Sister came.
Well?
She said to him, go away, go. Good heavens, you will drive me into despair.
Well?
But he would not go away.
What did he say to her?
Oh, ever so many things.
But what?
He told her this and that and the other, and that he loved her dearly, that she was the most beautiful person in the world.
And then, after?
He knelt down before her.
And then?
He kept on kissing her hands.
And then?
And then my mama came to the door and he escaped.
Nothing else?
No, dear Papa.
Here's my little finger, which says something. Wait. Stay. Yes. Oh. Here's my little finger, which says that there is something that you saw, which you do not tell me.
Papa, your little finger is a storyteller.
Take care.
No, I don't believe him. He tells a story, I assure you.
Oh, well, we will see to that. Go away, now, and we'll pay great attention to what you see. Children are no longer children nowadays. What trouble. I have not even enough leisure to attend my illness. I am quite done up.
Well, brother, what is the matter? How are you?
Very bad, brother, very bad.
How is that?
No one would believe how feeble I am.
Yes, that's a sad thing indeed.
I have hardly enough strength to speak.
I came here, brother, to propose a match for my niece, Angélique.
Brother, don't speak to me in that wicked, good-for-nothing, insolent, brazen-faced little girl. I will put her in a convent 2 days before 2 days are over.
All right. I am glad to see that you have a little strength left, and that my visit does you good. Well, we will talk of business by and by. I have brought you an entertainment, which will dissipate your melancholy and will dispose you better for what we have to talk about. They are gypsies dressed in Moorish clothes. They perform dances mixed with songs, which I am sure you will like, and which will be as good as a prescription from Mr. Purgon. Come along.
When blooms the spring of life, the golden harvest reap. Waste not your years in bootless strife, till age upon your bodies creep. But now when shines the kindly light, give up your soul to love's delight. No touch of sweetest joy this longing heart can know, no bliss without alloy, when love does silent show. Then up ye lads and lasses gay, the spring of life is fair, cloud not these hours with care, for love must win the day. Beauty fades, years roll by, lowering shades obscure the sky, and joy so sweet of yore shall charm us then no more. Then up, ye lads and lasses gay, the spring of life is fair, cloud not these hours with care, for love must win the day.
They bid us of love, they bid us of woo. Why not seek delay to tender sighs and kisses too? In fair youth's fair day, our hearts are one but too true. The sweetest charms has Cupid's spell no sooner felt the ready heart. His conquered self would yield him well, ere yet the god has winged the dart. But yet the tale we often hear of tears and sorrows keen to share, and then I ween though sweet would make us fear.
To love a true in youth's kind day, I trow in pleasant task now. But think how we must rue if he inconstant show.
When that we shall do, whose hearts
The
are
loss
so
of
young.
lover false to me, but trifling grief would be. Yet this is far the keenest smart, that he had stolen away our heart. What then shall we do, whose hearts are so young? Though cruel his laws attended by woes, away with your arms, submit to his charms.
His whims
he
must
must
we
follow.
follow.
His
His transports so fleet,
his pining
pining too
sweet.
sweet.
so
So
often
often comes
sorrow.
sorrow.
The
A
thousand
thousand
lights,
delights,
the
the wounds
wounds
of
of
his
his
thoughts
heart,
Still charm
still
all the
charm
heart.
the heart.
Hearts.
Yeah, hearts, those things.
Well, brother, what do you say to that? Isn't it good as a dose of cassia?
Good cassia is a very good thing, sir.
Now, shall we have a little chat together?
Wait a moment, brother. I'll be back directly.
I hear, sir, you forget that you cannot get about without a stick.
Ah, to be sure.
Pray, do not give up the interest of your niece.
No, I shall do all in my power to forward her wishes.
We must prevent this foolish marriage which he has got into his head from taking place. And I thought to myself that it would be a good thing to introduce a doctor here, having a full understanding of our wishes, to disgust him with his Monsieur Purgon and abuse his mode of treating him. But, as we have nobody to act that part for us, I have decided upon playing him a trick of my own.
What way?
Oh, it is rather an absurd idea, and it may be more fortunate than good, but act your own part. He is our man.
Let me ask you, brother, above all things, do not excite yourself during our conversation, okay? Do you agree?
Dear me. Very well.
Okay, to answer without anger to anything I may mention.
Very well.
And to reason together upon the business I want to discuss with you without any irritation.
Dear me, yes. What a preamble.
How is it, brother, that with all the wealth you possess and with only one daughter, for I do not count the little one, you speak of sending her to a convent?
How is it, brother, that I am the master of my family and that I can do all I think fit?
Your wife doesn't fail to advise you to get rid in that way of your two daughters. And I have no doubt that, but through a spirit of charity, she would be charmed to see them both good nuns, sure.
Oh, I see my poor wife again. Is it she who does all the harm? Everybody is against her.
Oh, let us leave that alone. She is a woman with the best intentions in the world for the good of your family, and she is free from all interested motives. She expresses for you the most extraordinary tenderness and shows towards your children an inconceivable goodness. No, don't let us speak of her, but only of your daughter. What can you reason for wishing to give her in marriage to the sort of a doctor?
My reason is that I wish to have a son-in-law who will suit my want.
But is it not what your daughter requires? And we have a more suitable match for her.
Yeah, but this one is suitable for me.
But does she marry a husband for herself or for you, brother?
He must do both for her and for me, brother. And I wish to take into my family people whom I have need.
So that if your little girl were old enough, you would give her to an apothecary?
Why not?
Oh. Wait, is it possible that you should always be so infatuated with your apothecaries and doctors and be so determined to be ill in spite of men and nature?
What do you mean by that, brother?
I mean, brother, that I know of no man less sick than you, and that I should be quite satisfied with a constitution no worse than yours. One great proof that you are well, and that you have a body perfectly well made, is that with all the pains you have taken, you have failed yet in injuring the soundness of your constitution, and that you have not died of all the medicine they have made you swallow.
But you are aware, brother, that this is the medicine which keeps me in good health. Mr. Purgon said I should go off it if he were but 3 days without taking care of me.
If you are not careful, he will take such care of you that he will soon send you into the next world.
But let us reason together, brother. Don't you believe at all in medicine?
No, brother. And I do not see that it is necessary for our salvation to believe in it.
What? Do you not hold true a thing acknowledged by everybody that revered throughout all ages?
Between ourselves, far from thinking it true. I look upon it as one of the greatest follies which exist among men. And to consider things from a philosophical point of view, I don't know of a more absurd piece of mummery or anything more ridiculous than a man who takes upon himself to cure another man.
Why will you not believe a man that can cure another?
For the simple reason, brother, that the springs of our machines are mysteries about which men are as yet completely in the dark, and nature has put too thick a veil before our eyes for us to know anything about it.
Then according to you, the doctors know nothing at all.
Oh, yes, brother. Most of them have some knowledge on the best classics, can talk fine Latin, can give a Greek name to every disease, can define and distinguish them. But as to curing these diseases, that's out of the question.
Still, you must agree to this. Then the doctors know more than others.
They know, brother, what I have told you. And that does not affect many cured. All the excellency of their art consists of pompous gibberish, inspecific babbling, which gives you words instead of reasons, and promises instead of results.
Still, dear brother, there exist men as wise and clever as you. We'll see that in cases of illness, everyone has a recourse to the doctor.
It is a proof of human weakness and not of the truth of their art.
So, doctors must believe in their art, since they make it so cure to use it for themselves.
Is it because some of them share the popular error by which they themselves profit, while others profit by it without sharing it? Your Mr. Purgon has no wish to deceive, I don't think. He is a thorough doctor from head to foot, a man who believes in his rules, though, more than in the demonstrations of mathematics, and who would think it a crime to question them. He sees nothing obscure in physic, nothing doubtful, nothing difficult, and through an impetuous prepossession, an obstinate confidence, a coarse common sense and reason, or orders right and left, purgatives and bleedings, and hesitates at nothing. We must bear him no ill will for the harm he does us. It is with the best intentions in the world that he send you into the next world. And in killing you, he will do no more than he has done to his wife and children, and then he would do it to himself, if need be.
It's because you have a spite against him. But let it come to the point. What is to be done when one is ill?
Nothing, brother.
Nothing?
Nothing. Only rest. Nature, when we leave her free, will herself gently recover from the disorder into which she has fallen. It is our anxiety, our impatience, which does the mischief. And most men die of their remedies and not of their diseases.
Still, you must acknowledge, brother, that we can, in certain things, help nature.
Alas, brother, these are pure fantasies with which we deceive ourselves. At all times, there have crept among men brilliant fancies in which we believe because they flatter us, and because it would be well if they were true. When a doctor speaks to us of assisting, succoring nature, or of removing what is injurious to it, of giving it what it is defective in, or restoring it, and giving back to it the full exercise of its functions, when he speaks of purifying blood, of refreshing the bowels, of brain, of correcting the spleen, of rebuilding the lungs, of renovating the liver, of fortifying the heart, of reestablishing and keeping the natural heart, and of possessing secrets where within the length of life of many years, he repeats to you the romance of physic. But when you test the truth of what he promised you, you find that it all ends in nothing. It is like those beautiful dreams which only leave you in the morning to the regret of having believed in them.
Which means that all the knowledge of the world is contained in your brain, and that you think more than all the greatest doctors of our age together, put together.
When you weigh words and actions, your great doctors are two different kinds of people. Listen to their talk. They are the cleverest of people in the world. See them at work, and they are the most ignorant.
Hayley, you are a great doctor. And I see and I wish that someone of those gentlemen were here to take you up on your arguments and to check your babble.
Oh. I do not take it upon myself, brother, to fight against physic. And everyone at their own risk and peril may believe what he likes. What I say is only between ourselves, and I should have liked in order to deliver you from the error into which you have fallen, that's all. And in order to amuse you, okay? To take you to see some of Moliere's comedies on this subject.
Your Molie is fine, impertinent fellows with his comedies, and I think mightily pleasant of him to go and take off honest people like the doctors.
It is not the doctors themselves that he takes off, but the absurdity of medicine.
It becomes him well, truly, to control the faculty. He is a nice simpleton and a nice impertinent fellow to laugh at all the constitutions and consultations and prescriptions, to attack the body of physicians and to bring them to the stage of venerable people as those gentlemen.
What would you have him bring there but the different professions of men? Huh? Princes and kings are brought there every day, and they are of as good a stock as your physicians.
No. By all the devils, if I were a physician, I would be revenged in the impertinence of when he falls. And I would let him die without relief, and in vain he would beg and pray, and I would not prescribe him for the littlest bleeding, the littlest injection, and I would tell him, die like a dog, and I would teach you to laugh at us, doctors.
Really angry with him.
Yes. He is an ill-advised fellow. And if the doctors are wise, they'll do what I say.
He will be wiser than the doctors, for he will not go and ask for their help.
So much for the worst of him. He had counted not recourse to their remedies.
He has a reason for not wishing to do anything with them. He is certain that only strong and robust constitutions can bear their remedies in addition to the illness. And he has only just enough strength for his sickness.
What absurd reasons. Here, brother, don't speak to me any more about that man, for it makes me savage, and you will give me his complaint.
I will willingly cease, brother. And to change the subject, allow me to tell you that because your daughter shows a slight repugnance to the match you propose, it is no reason why you should shut her up in a convent. In your choice of a son-in-law, you should not blindly follow the anger which masters you. We should, in such a matter, yield a little to the inclinations of a daughter, since it is all her life. And the whole happiness of her married life depends on it.
Brother, with your With your leave,
Eh? What are you going to do?
I take this little cleister. It will soon be done.
Are you joking? Can you not spend a moment without pleisters or physic? Put it off to another time and be quiet.
Mr. Florence, let it be for tonight and tomorrow morning.
What right have you to interfere? How dare you oppose yourself to the prescription of the doctors, and prevent the gentleman from taking my cleister? You're a nice fellow to show such boldness.
Go, sir, go. It is easy to see that you are not accustomed to speak face to face with men.
You ought not thus to sneer at physic, and make me lose my precious time. I came here for a good prescription, and I will go and tell Mr. Purgon that I have been prevented from executing his orders, and that I have been stopped in the performance of my duty. You'll see! You'll see!
Brother, you will be the cause of some misfortune will happen here.
Oh, the misfortune not to take the cleister prescribed by Mr. Purgon. Once more, brother, it is possible that you can't be cured of this doctor disease, and that you will thus bring yourself under their remedies.
Brother, you speak to me like a man who is quite well, but if you were in my place, you would soon change the way you're speaking. It is easy to speak against medicine when one is perfectly in perfect health.
But what disease do you suffer from?
You will drive me to desperation. I should like you to have my disease, and then we should see if you like to pray as you do. Here's Mr. Pergeron.
I have just heard nice news downstairs. You laugh at my prescriptions and refuse to take the remedy which I ordered.
Sir, it is not.
What daring boldness! What a strange revolt of a patient against his doctor!
No, it is frightful.
A cleister which I have had the pleasure of composing myself.
It was not I.
Invented and made up according to all the rules of art.
He was wrong.
And which was to work a marvelous effect on the intestines.
My brother.
To send it back with contempt.
It was he.
Such conduct is monstrous.
So it is.
It is a fearful outrage against medicine.
He is a calm.
A crime of high treason against the faculty, and one which cannot be too severely punished.
You are quite right.
I declare to you that I break off all intercourse with you.
It is my brother.
That I will have no more connection with you.
You will do quite right.
And that to end all association with you, here's the deed of gift which I made to my nephew in favor of the marriage.
It is my brother who has done all this mischief.
To despise my cleister.
Let it be brought to me. I will take it directly.
I would have you cured in a very short time.
Oh, he doesn't deserve it.
I was about to cleanse your body and to clear it of its bad humors.
Ah, my brother!
And it wanted only a dozen purgatives to cleanse it entirely.
He is unworthy of your care.
But since you would not be cured by me...
It was not my fault.
Since you have forsaken the obedience you owe to your doctor...
It cries for vengeance!
Since you have declared yourself a rebel against the remedies I have prescribed for you...
No, certainly not.
I must now tell you that I give you up to your bad constitution, to the intemperament of your intestines, to the corruption of your blood, to the acrimony of your bile, and to the feculence of your humors.
It serves you right!
Alas!
And I will have you before 4 days in an incurable state.
No, mercy on me!
you shall fall into bradypepsia.
Mr. Purgon!
From bradypepsia into dyspepsia.
Mr. Purgon!
From dyspepsia into apepsy.
Mr. Purgon!
From apepsy into lionterry.
Mr. Purgon.
From lionterry into dysentery.
Mr. Purgon.
From dysentery into dropsy.
Mr. Purgon.
And from dropsy to the deprivation of life into which your folly will bring you.
Am I dead? Brother, what? You have undone me!
Why? What is the matter?
I am undone. I already feel that the faculty is avenging itself.
Really, brother, you're crazy. And I would not for a great deal that you should be seen acting as you are doing. Shake yourself a little. I beg, recover yourself and do not give way to so much of your imagination.
You hear me, brother. Well, what strange diseases have he threatened me?
What a foolish fellow you are. Oh.
He says that I should be incurable within 4 days.
And what does it signify what he says? It is an oracle that has spoken. To hear you, anyone would think that Mr. Purgon would hold his hands in the thread of your life, and that he has supreme authority to prolong it or cut it short at his will. Remember that the springs of your life are in yourself, and that the wrath of Mr. Purgon can do as little towards making you die as his remedies can do to make you live. This is an opportunity, if you like to take it, of getting rid of your doctors. And if you are so constituted that you cannot do without them, it is easy for you, brother, to have another with whom you can run less risk. Less risk.
Ah, brother, he knows about my constitution and the way to treat me.
I must acknowledge that you are greatly infatuated, and that you look at things with strange eyes.
There is a doctor here, sir, who desires to see you.
What doctor?
A doctor of medicine, bien sûr. Stupid.
That's who he is.
I don't know who he is, but he is as much like me as 2 peas, and if I was not sure that my mother was an honest woman, I should say that this is a little butter was given me since my father's death.
You are served according to your wish. One doctor leaves you, another comes to replace him.
And I greatly fear that you cause some misfortune.
Oh, you are harping on that string again?
I have on my mind all those diseases that I don't understand those.
Allow me, sir, to come and pay my respects to you, and to offer you my small services for all the bleedings and purgings you may require.
I am much obliged to you, sir. Toinette herself, I declare it.
I beg you will excuse me one moment, sir. I forgot to give a small order to my servant.
Would you not say that this is really Toinette?
It is true that the resemblance is very striking, but it is not the first time that we have seen this kind of thing. History is full of those freaks of nature.
For my part, I'm astonished, and...
What do you want, sir?
What?
Did you not call me?
I know.
My ears must have tingled then.
Just stop here one moment and see how much that doctor is like you.
Ah, yes, oui, indeed. I have plenty of time to waste. Besides, I have seen enough of him already. Au revoir.
I have not seen both of them together, and it should be believed that it was one and the same person.
Have seen them together, but I have read wonderful stories about such resemblances, and we have seen some in our day that have taken in everybody.
For my part, I should have been deceived this time and sworn that there would the two were but one.
Sir, I beg your pardon with all my heart.
It is wonderful.
You will not take amiss, I hope, the curiosity I feel to see such an illustrious patient, and your reputation, which reaches the farthest ends of the world, must be my excuse for the liberty I am taking.
Sir, I am your servant.
I see, sir, that you're looking earnestly at me. What age do you think I am?
I should think 26 or 27 at the most.
I am 90 years old.
90 years old?
Yes, this is what the secrets of my art have done for me to preserve me fresh and vigorous, as you see.
Upon my word, a fine, youthful, old fellow of 90.
I am an itinerant doctor and go from town to town, from province to province, from kingdom to kingdom, to seek out illustrious material for my abilities, to find patients worthy of my attention, capable of exercising the great and noble secrets which I have discovered in medicine. I disdain to abuse myself with the small rubbish of common diseases, with the trifles of rheumatism, coughs, fevers, vapors, and headaches. I require diseases of importance, such as good non-intermittent fevers with delirium, good scarlet fevers, good plagues, good confirmed dropsies, good pleurisy with inflammation of the lungs. These are what I like, what I triumph in. And I wish, sir, that you had all those diseases combined, that you had been given up, despaired of by all the doctors, and at the point of death, so that I might have the pleasure of showing you the excellency of my remedies and the desire I have of doing you service.
I am greatly obliged to you, sir, for the kind of intentions you have toward me.
Let me feel your pulse. Come. Beat properly, please. Ah! Oh, I will soon make you beat as you should. This pulse is trifling with me. I see that it does not know me yet. Who is your doctor?
Mr. Purgon.
Oh, that man is not noted in my books among the great doctors. What does he say you are ill of?
He says it's the liver, and the other says the spleen.
Oh, they are a pack of ignorant blockheads. You are suffering from the lungs! Yes, what do you feel?
From time to time, great pains in my head.
Just so, the lungs.
At the times, it seems that I had a bad mist before my eyes.
The lungs!
I feel sick now and dead.
The lungs.
And I feel some weariness in my limbs.
The lungs.
And sometimes I have sharp pains, as if I had the colic.
The lungs. Do you eat your food with appetite?
Yes, sir.
The lungs. Do you like to drink a little wine?
Yes, sir.
The lungs. You feel sleepy after your meals and willingly enjoy a nap?
Yes, sir.
The lungs, I tell you. What does your doctor order you for food?
He orders me soup.
Oh, ignoramus!
Foul!
Ignoramus!
Biel.
Ignoramus.
Raw.
Ignoramus!
Noodle eggs.
Ignoramus!
And nights of your prawns to relax in my bowels.
Ignoramus.
And above all, I drink my wine, diluted with water.
Ignorantus, ignoranta, ignorantum! You must drink your wine pure, and to thicken your blood, which is too thin, huh? You must eat good, fat beef, du bœuf, good, fat pork, du porc, good Dutch cheese, fromage, some gruel, rice puddings, chestnuts, and thin cakes to make all adhere and conglotinate. Your doctor is an ass. I will send you one of my own school and will come and examine you from time to time during my stay in this town. Ça vous dit?
You oblige me greatly.
What the deuce do you want with this arm, huh?
What?
If I were you, I should have cut it off on the spot.
Why?
Do you not see that it attracts all the nourishments to itself and hinders this side from growing?
Maybe. But I had neither in my arm.
You have also a right eye that I would have plucked out if I were in your place, huh?
My right eye plucked out.
Don't you see that it interferes with the other and robs it of its nourishment? Oh, believe me. Have it plucked out as soon as possible. You will see all the clearer with the left eye.
There is no need to hurry.
Oh, au revoir! Goodbye. I'm sorry to leave you so soon, but I must assist at a grand consultation which is to take place about a man who died yesterday.
About a man who died yesterday?
Oui. Yes. That we may consider and see what ought to have been done to cure him. Au revoir. Goodbye.
You know that patients do not use ceremony.
On my word, this doctor, brother, seems to be a very clever man.
Yes, but he goes a little bit too fast.
All great doctors do. So
cut off my arm and pluck out my eye so that the other may be better, that I had rather had it if it were not better. A nice operation indeed, to make me at once eyed and once armed.
Come, I am your servant. I'm in no joking humor.
What is the matter?
Oh la la, your doctor, forsooth, who wanted to feel my pulse. Oh. Just imagine, and that too, and 10 years of age.
Now, I say, brother, since you have quarreled with Mr. Purgon, won't you just give me leave to speak of the match which is proposed for my niece?
No, brother, I will put her in a convent. She's rebelled against me, and I see plainly that there's some love business at the bottom of it all, and I have discovered a certain attempt to interview, which they don't suspect me of knowing about anything about.
Well, brother, and suppose there was some little inclination where could the harm be? Would it be so criminal when it all tends to what it is honorable, marriage?
Be that as it may, she will be a nun, and I have made up my mind.
You intend to please somebody by doing so.
I understand what you mean. You will always come back to that. And my wife is very much in your way.
Well, yes, brother, since I must speak out, it is your wife, I mean. For I can no more bear with your infatuation about doctors than with your infatuation about your wife. and see you are run headlong into every snare she lays for you.
Ah, sir, don't talk so of mistress. She is a person against whom there is nothing to be said. A woman without deceit, and who loves master. Who loves him. I cannot express how much.
Just ask her, in all her carelessness, she lavishes for me.
Yes, indeed.
And all the uneasiness my sickness causes her.
Certainly.
And the care and trouble she takes about me.
Quite right. Will you let me convince you, Béralde, monsieur, and to show you at once how my mistress loves my master? Sir, allow me to undeceive him and to show him his mistake.
How?
My mistress will soon come back. Stretch yourself full length in this armchair and pretend to be dead. Huh? You will see what grief she will be in when I tell her the news.
Very well, I consent.
Ah, oui! But don't leave her too long in despair, huh? For she might die of it.
Trust me for that.
Béralde, hide yourself in that corner.
There is no danger in counterfeiting death.
No! What danger can there be? Only stretch yourself. There. It will be so pleasant to put your brother to confusion. Oh, here's my mistress. Mind you, keep still. Ah! Hélas! Oh, what a misfortune! What a strange accident!
What's the matter, Toinette?
Oh, madame!
What ails you?
Your husband! He's dead!
My husband is dead?
Alas, oui! The poor soul is gone!
Are you quite certain?
Quite certain. Nobody knows of it yet. I was all alone here when it happened. He has just breathed. He's lost. Dans mes bras, in my arms. Here, just look at him, full length in this chair.
Heaven be praised! I am delivered from a most grievous burden. Oh, how silly of you, Toinette, to be so afflicted at his death.
Madame, I thought I ought to cry.
It's not worth the trouble. What loss is it to anybody? And what good did he do in this world? A wretch, unpleasant to everybody, of nauseous, dirty habits, always a clyster or a dose of physic in his body, always sniveling, coughing, spitting, a stupid, tedious, ill-natured fellow who was forever fatiguing people and scolding night and day at his maids and servants.
Ah, an excellent funeral oration.
Toinette, you must help me to carry out my design.
Okay.
You may depend upon it that I will make it worth your while if you serve me. Since by good luck nobody is aware of his death, let us put him into his bed and keep the secret until I have done what I want.
Okay.
There are some papers and some money I must possess myself of.
D'accord.
It is not right that I should have passed the best years of my life with him without any kind of advantage.
Absolument.
Come along, Toinette. First of all, let us take all the keys.
Yes.
Sophie.
Huh?
So, my wife, is this thus you love me?
Ah! The dead man is not dead!
I am glad to see that how you love me, and how I have heard of the noble Panjique who have made upon me. It is a good warning, which will make me wise for the future to prevent me from doing many things.
Ah, la 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 la.
See, well, brother.
Now, really, I could never have believed such a thing. But I hear your daughter coming, Argan. Place yourself as you was just now, and let us see how she will receive the news. Oh, it is not a bad thing to try, and since you have begun, you will be able by this means to know the sentiment of your family towards you. Argan. Okay, die. Oh heavens! What a sad accident! What an unhappy day!
Oh, what ails you, Toinette? Why do you cry?
Alas, I have such sad news for you.
Oh no, what is it?
Your father is dead.
My father is dead, Toinette?
Oui, just look at him there. He died only a moment ago, a fainting fit that came over him.
Oh heavens, what a misfortune, what a cruel grief, alas, why must I lose my father, the only being left to me in the world? And why should I lose him too, at a time when he was angry with me? What will become of me, unhappy girl that I am? What consolation can I find after such great a loss?
What is the matter with you, dear Angélique? And what misfortune makes you weep?
Alas, I weep for what was most dear, precious to me. I weep for the death of my father.
Oh, heaven! What a bit misfortune! What an unseen stroke of fortune! Alas, after I had asked your uncle to ask you in marriage, I was coming to see him in order to try to buy my respect and entreaties to incline his heart and to grant you to my wishes.
Oh, Cléante, let us talk no more of this. Let us give up all hopes of marriage.
Oh.
Now that my father is dead, I will have nothing to do with the world and will renounce it forever. Yes, my dear father, if I resisted your will, I will at least follow out one of your intentions. And will by that make amends for the sorrow I have caused you. Let me, father, make you this promise here and kiss you as proof of my repentance.
Oh, sir.
Oh, daughter!
Come now. Do not be afraid. I am not dead. And you are my true flesh, blood, my real daughter. I am delighted that you have discovered your good heart.
Ah, what a delightful surprise! Father, since heaven has given you back to our love, let me throw myself at your feet to implore you one more favor. If you do not approve of what my heart feels, if you refuse to give me Cléante for a husband, I conjure you, at least, not to force me to marry another. It is all I have to ask of you.
Oh, sir, allow your heart to be touched by her entreaties and by mine. And do not oppose our mutual love.
Mother, how can you resist this all?
Will you remain insensible before such affection?
Well, let him become a doctor and I will consent to the marriage. Yes. Turn doctor, sir, and I will give you my daughter.
Very willingly, sir. If it is all that is required to become your son-in-law, I will turn doctor, apothecary also. If you like, it is not such a difficult thing after all, and I would do much more to obtain from you the fair Angélique.
But, brother, it just strikes me. Why don't you turn doctor yourself? It would be much more convenient to have all you want within yourself.
Quite true. That is the very way to cure yourself. There is no disease bold enough to dare to attack the person avec doctor.
Oui.
I imagine, brother, that you are laughing at me, and I can study as I study my age.
Study? What is there? You are clever enough for that. There are a great many who are not a bit more clever than you are.
But one must be able to speak Latin well. And I know the difference between diseases and the remedies they require.
When you put on the cap and gown of a doctor, all that will come of itself, and you will afterwards be much more clever than you care to be.
What? We understand how disclosure or discourse upon diseases when we have that dress.
Yes, you only have to hold forth. When you have a cap and gown, any stuff becomes learned, and all rubbish, good sense.
Look you, sir. A beard is something in itself. A beard is half the doctor.
Anyhow, I am ready for everything.
Shall we have the thing done immediately?
How immediately?
Yes. In your house.
In my house?
Yes, I know a body of physicians, friends of mine, who will come presently and will perform the ceremony in your hall. It will cost you nothing.
Nothing.
But what can I say? What can I answer?
You will be instructed in a few words, and they will give you in writing all you have to say. Go dress yourself directly, and I will send for them.
Very well, let it be done.
What is it you intend to do, and what do you mean by this body of physicians?
What is it you're going to do?
To amuse ourselves a little tonight. The players have doctor's admission, the subject of an interlude with dances and music. I want everyone to enjoy it, and my brother to act the principal part in it.
Oh.
But, Uncle, it seems to me that you are making fun of my father.
But, niece, it is not making too much fun of him to fall in with his fancies. We may each of us take part in it ourselves, and thus perform the comedy for each other's amusement. Carnival time authorizes it. Let us go quickly and get ready. Everything ready.
Do you consent to it?
Yes, since my father takes the lead.
Oh, you mean uncle? I know it.
Uncle. Whatever.
Allons-y. Le malade imaginaire. The Imaginary Invalid by Molière. Translated by Charles Heron Wall. The cast included Jamie Barniker as Argan, Jacqueline Elisabeth as Toinette, Elisabeth Jane Stokes as Angélique, his daughter. Karla Wren as Béline, his wife. Matthew Murray as Cléante, Angélique's lover. Paul Uhler as Dr. Diafoirus. Lise Moreau as Thomas Diafoirus. June Ospa as Louison, the younger daughter of Argan. Hayley Elisabeth Beiermeister as Béralde, Argan's brother. Jonny Ospa as Dr. Purgon. And Bob Daniel as Monsieur de Bonnefoi. This was a JaYo Théâtre production. Michael J. Murray was Cléante. Merci et au revoir.